Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be working on the Audi S6 again, the Copart S6. If you watched some of the previous videos, you saw we bought this car with unknown damage, ended up just being bad turbos. But being I didn't know the total condition of the car or the engine, there were some questionable things. I did the bare minimum to get it running, just to make sure we got a good engine before I dumped a bunch of other money into maintenance things. So today we're going to be putting in new spark plugs. I took it to the track last weekend, I guess it was, and made one pass on it and ended up having what felt like light misfires. EPC light ended up coming on. So the spark plugs that were in it, when I've had them out, when I put the turbos on, definitely needed replacement, but I didn't really want to spend the money until I knew it was all good. So we're going to be getting rid of them. Also, I got another B5 on the channel. Just got this one running. This I will probably be doing a full video on, so I'm not going to go too deep into detail here, but since it's sitting here, that's what's going on with that one. So we'll be probably doing a video on that one here in the near future. Kind of a common theme right now in all my cars, or the ones that are here, is looks like we got bumper issues. This one here still needs a bunch of hardware. I got that sitting in a box, so someday I got to take that off, fasten that all back together. We can see it's got also got a lot of chips and that kind of stuff going on. Also got to repaint the crash bar, probably repaint that since that is painted already. Obviously this one here, bumper's missing. There we can see it, pretty sad shape. And of course, moving over to the M5, that bumper needs help as well. But for now, let's head over to the shop and get to work on the S6. Get a little bit of that cold start sound. Alright, so obviously number one, let's grab some tools. I do apologize, the shop is kind of messy right now. For any of you guys that happen to be interested in diesel stuff, here's my other project, one of my truck projects. And by the way, if y'all are interested in diesel projects and diesel stuff, comment below. I could do some videos on what I'm doing with the diesel stuff. I got a few diesel trucks. But this is kind of like what's evolving into my race truck. This is a 5.9 liter Cummins, 12 valve, P pump, and just doing a couple upgrades. New Borg Warner S369 SXC turbo, billet wheel, all that good stuff. New poly engine mounts, few pump upgrades, 5,000 RPM governor springs, and new lift pump. And also I'm building the transmission on it, triple disc converter, all that good stuff. Fully built transmission, billet shaft. So that'll be for later in the summer. This is the truck it comes out of. It is quite a sleeper, but that's kind of what we're going for with it. But anyway, back to what we're doing today. Obviously, let's get the hood popped here. The engine's going to be a little warm just from a couple minutes of running, but that's okay. That'll cool off pretty quick. Engine cover removal is pretty simple. You just pull up at the corners and we are down to it. Now this is a fairly straightforward process. If you got basic hand tools, you should be good for, should be set. Basically, I think we'll pretty much be using as far as tools is a T30 Torx. We'll also be using a 10mm, I believe, for some of them. And then obviously the spark plug wrench. We'll go over that when we get to that point. Quick overview of what we're going to be doing. Probably end up moving the coolant overflow tank to the side, and then the coil packs sit directly under this harness here. So pretty much you'll go through here, we'll go through. right, so airbox out. That is a very, very simple procedure. It's just basically set in here, 2 clamps here, you can pull that out. You got bolts in here, lets this little scoop come out. Sitting in here, you can see here and here. Mine is missing one, so I only had one here. That wiggles out of there, and now we have our wiring harness exposed. So to unplug all of this stuff, so you can see here. So to unplug all of this stuff, these clips are fairly easy. The gray tab here, just take your finger, pull them up, and then you press in on it, and they pop right off. Very, very simple. You can see the locking tab gets pulled out, and then you just press in on the locking tab, pops right out. So we're going to go ahead, carefully unplug all of them. High pressure fuel pump connection there. And these are all the solenoids that control the cam and the cylinder deactivation and all that stuff. At this point, you see if I can. So I think I'm just going to hold this out of the way. At this point, we got a bolt on the side of each coil to the back of the coil. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then those will just pull straight out. So that's what we're going to be doing now. Get them loosened up and pulled out. So I use this gear wrench. It's got a ball end, magnetic, works very good. Just slide that down the tube. You'll feel it seat down on the plug. And since I'm lazy and don't feel like spinning them out by hand, I'm going to use my ratchet. Alright, so that is the spark plug removal. We got the plugs right here. Everything looks pretty good as far as the color on the plugs, nice and consistent. So that's a good sign. You can tell a lot of the health of an engine by the color of the spark plugs. As we can see here, these got a nice grayish tan look to them. If you have a lot of black, sooty, oily, wet looking plugs, that can be a sign of excessive oil consumption, which at that point you probably already know you have oil consumption. But if you pull out your plug out and it's all oily, wet, gunked up looking, that's probably what you got going on. If you pull it out and it's really white and burned looking, you either have the wrong plug or you can possibly be running too lean. But this is more or less a fairly good looking plug for a, obviously worn out, shot, used plug. We got just minimal build up, a decent gray color. So we're gonna go ahead, grab the new ones and start reassembling on this side and then move over to the other side. Alright guys, I do apologize. Somewhere along the line my camera died without giving me any warning, so I'm not exactly sure where it cut out, but we'll kind of recap a little bit where we're at this point I do have it back together, except I just noticed I need to run this screw down the rest of the way. Lock the coolant tank down. But this side is definitely quite a bit tighter than the other side. Like I said, I did kind of do it the difficult way, rather than draining the coolant out of the overflow tank, getting rid of that. I'm getting some of these hoses and stuff out of the way to where I could really lay the harness back. I just went ahead and worked around it. You can do that. Like I said, I'd rather work around stuff and take everything apart. I don't know if that's... kind of depends how you want to do it, but it is possible to do it without draining any coolant, without opening your cooling system up. Just a little bit more difficult. You got to take your time. You want to make sure you don't put any stress on any wiring harness or any connector and end up breaking something. I also did find a vacuum line that was disconnected. Before I put it back together, I had this apart. Here's a little vacuum line that runs up into the wastegate actuator. I took that off and blew through it to see if it was holding pressure, and it wasn't. And I ended up finding down in there was a vacuum line that was disconnected. Now I'm not entirely sure if it disconnected when I lifted the harness up, or if it was disconnected. I always thought the car seemed like it was not building boost the way it was, which obviously I know it wasn't. It kind of, after I put the downpipes on, it felt a lot better. I didn't get to do any logging because I simply haven't hardly driven the car since the downpipes, but it felt way better. So I kind of gave up looking for a vac line. I had looked over it, but I didn't give it much thought. So now I did find it. I was not really interested in taking all this stuff apart to get down in there to reconnect it underneath. So what I did is I just simply looped another vacuum line around the top, connected it down there, and ran it around there. You can see the connection right down in there. So now we are holding pressure. I'm excited to go drive it. I'm hoping that I got my boost back. If that was always disconnected, that would explain the slow response and all that stuff, because basically what it would be doing is it's not shutting the wastegates when you get on it to give you that instant boost. When the wastegates are open, it's similar to running a big laggy turbo. Your boost just comes slow, and in some cases you won't even hit peak boost. But if you do, it'll be way delayed. So I'm excited to go see that, try that, and see if that fixed it. Like I said, I had looked at it briefly, didn't see anything, but when I had it apart, I went and did some testing, and I did find that. So I'm hoping that'll fix my boost issue. But for now, all that's left to do is put this cover on and take it on a quick little test drive. The other thing that did end up breaking is this nipple inside here snapped off. They do get brittle, and the O-ring must have stuck in the coolant tank when I pulled it off. It just crumpled, so I will have to order this short section right here to replace that. But for now, that shouldn't keep us from doing a quick little test drive and seeing what it feels like with the new plugs and possibly a boost leak fix. Alright, so got it almost warmed up here. So far it feels pretty good. We'll know here in a second. As soon as it's warmed up here, we will give it a little run through the gears and see what it feels like. But so far so good, but obviously I'll probably have to grab my laptop, do a little logging, make sure we're hitting her, see what the request versus the actual boost is to really see if we got everything fixed. Also obviously monitor misfires, but like I said, so far it's feeling good. Boost seems to be right where it should be, come on pretty quick. That felt healthy. Obviously it wasn't a launch, we just kind of rolled into it, and I have to say I think that's about the best it's ever felt. So we'll get some miles on it and just kind of feel it out, but hopefully that'll take care of our boost and possibly misfire issue. So again, thanks all y'all for watching the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you want to see some content that you aren't seeing, feel free to comment below. Like I said, I have quite a variety of different vehicles around. I haven't been showing too much of the diesel stuff. If that's stuff you guys would be interested in seeing, let me know and we can try to get that for you. But for now, Again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.